Hello, this is Alex Spence, Self-Realised. I hope you're well today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. I'm literally in the middle of nowhere. I think in a previous life I was a renunciate monk that flocked to the woods and lived on berries, but that's quite hard to do in this day and age. We've got a lot of other responsibilities. Times have changed when it comes to enlightenment. But I just wanted to talk about some signs that I've gone through that some of you may be able to relate with when it comes to like waking up. And my first one is a shift of complete connectedness with everything around you. It's like you come into an alignment of pure connectedness with nature. It's something that's I find it hard to describe, and I just feel like it's a feeling of total alignment with yourself and just everything that is out in front of you. I like the word interconnectedness because I just feel like that's the best way to describe it. It's the feeling of like you are connected to everything, and it's a moment of absolute clarity where almost the mind becomes absolutely still. There's just nothing going on. There's no noise. I'm not talking about the birds singing or the tractor going or the car starting. I'm talking about there's no internal noise. Everything just shuts off. And you feel like it's almost an expanse. You feel like it's almost like when you're taking off in a plane, you just sort of like you're at 5,000 feet, then you're at 10,000 feet, then you're at 15,000 feet, and you just keep everything just seems to be sort of like a more verified. That's the best way I can think to describe it. My next say state that I've been in, like condition, to sort of come up with like this awakening experience, is having visions. People call it like potentially like your third eye opening, or sort of like your clairvoyance, when you start seeing, sort of you have really weird premonitions, like you'll think something and then the person on the radio will say exactly what you're thinking. You'll think the song that's next on the radio. Everything, and then you start to sort of, there was one time when I started, there was 1 week when it was when I was having like a falling down stage of my life. And everything was sort of crumbling around me. It's to do with my business. And there was a week when I foreseed everything that happened. I foreseed conversations that I was having with specific people. And I was foreseeing almost the lesson that I was supposed to be learning. So yeah, that was another one, sort of like visions, sort of like premonitions, that clairvoyance, clairaudience. The next one is rushes of, like you get really crazy rushes of energy. And it's for like people like us, so like being up at 3 a.m. in the morning is sometimes just, it's the norm. And you can be like wide awake, but there's no internal clutter going on. You've got these rushes of energy sort of going through you. And you can't describe it. It happened to me last night when I was just awake at 3 a.m. Some of you might experience ringing in the ears, and it's nothing to do with like something having like a headache or like nothing to do with that. There's no everything's still. Everything's just like there's just like you're charged. You're absolutely like electronically charged. That's the best way I could sort of think about it. Yeah, your life goes through massive changes. And I know it can be really crazy, and I know people's lives are crazy, but ours seems sort of like extraordinary. I mean, there was a time in my life, there's plenty of times when it's like everything's really sort of like everything's speeding up at such a fantastic rate. Like at one point you can feel like you've got so many emotions coming out of you and life is just going an extraordinary rate, and you've got being confronted with everything that you're hiding in the back. Everything's sort of crumbling down, and you're being confronted with all the negative parts of you that you need to confront so you can move over the next barrier. And then you sort of like, you come out of that, and then there's a moment of clarity, you sort of like regain that like connectedness, and then something else happens, and then like more emotions come in, and it's like you've almost just, there's so much being thrown at you. And this can be a process that has happened to me for years. It's sort of like, it's just an unraveling of everything in you that you need to get rid of. It's like purging out. The real you is sort of wants to come to the surface, and it will do anything. It will do anything in its power to get you there, to confront you with more, be aligned, more of the real you, your true purpose. And the next one, you stop believing everything you've been told. You stop believing the world in front of you, because you can be more in alignment. You start becoming fine-tuned. Your intuition grows beyond anything you could have ever imagined. Everything that you see in the world now, even to the point where it's like close relationships, which you now start to question because your gut instinct is saying something's just not right. You see the world, you see everything that's going on, and you just think, I can't put my finger on it, but we're not being told the full story. Things are being sort of kept from us. And you get like a thirst for knowledge, where you have to go out and you go and find out. You go and ask your own questions. You go and answer your own questions. And then you'll open up doors to absolute beautiful mysteries that you'll find spellbinding. You'll answer questions and everything. You'll know that you've come across them. You'll know you've stumbled across the right knowledge, because you'll feel it in your gut. You'll know, like your instinct will tell you that this is what's up. And the next one, you'll have, with the highs and all this connectivity, you can have moments of real extreme fatigue. This has been greatly minute, but I don't sort of get this anymore. This was sort of like earlier on. I remember when I was going through stages where I could barely think about surviving the day was something that seemed like almost like an impossible venture. Just something I just couldn't do. And you can feel like 100 years old. And it's absolutely like, yeah, the way you feel is just, you think, God, I'm 25. What's going on? I shouldn't feel like this. And you start to, when it comes to people, you start to read people better. You start to sort of like I said, a few steps ago, about how like you become more in tune with yourself. And you start to really see everyone's belief systems in glaring daylight. And sometimes this can be a startling revelation, that sometimes the people that are closest to you can have the least becoming qualities. And it's something you really have to it's something you have to really deal with, especially when it comes to family. You have to sometimes sometimes have to put up barriers to the people that you love, or not have them as prominent in your life, even though that can be really hard sometimes, especially if you live in the same house. But along the way, you sort of create defense mechanisms, and you can you become stronger. And then being around, say, people that are sort of like less in line with you, even if it is people that you love, you could become more tolerant of that on an emotional level. And I'm not talking tolerant as in sort of you tolerate them, but as in you're strong enough to sort of have any sort of energy, some like stronger negative energies around you. Right, okay, so there's a few sort of like signs that I've experienced with this awakening. Hope this might sort of be really sort of relevant with you guys. But if it has, I think we're on the same page. We're walking very, very similar paths, just different subjectivities. But I just want to say, I hope you're having a fantastic day. It's Saturday today. If it's like the weather is here, just sort of try and get out and just sort of try and just embrace life and like feel alive, and just try and love yourself to your full capacity. Okay, this is Alex Spence, Self-Realised. If you haven't already, check out my newsletter, sign up, hit the blue button, enter your details, and you can stay in touch even more. Okay, peace out guys, have a fantastic rest of the weekend.